Today's Versus episode puts the Krogan of the Mass Effect universe against Halo's brutes. Hey guys, this is EckhartsLadder. Hello and welcome to another episode of Versus. It's been a while since I've done one of these episodes, so if you enjoy it, make sure to give it a thumbs up. I want to get right in today's content because I think this will be a fun matchup. We're looking at Halo and Mass Effect and putting two of the strongest brute force warriors from each series in a head-to-head battle. We'll actually have two rounds. First, we'll have a fight to the death between two average, unarmed, unarmored members of each species. In the second round, we'll be looking at the peak warrior of each species, the Krogan Battlemaster versus the brute chieftain. First though, let's get some basic descriptions out of the way. The Jiralhanae, also known as the brutes of the Halo franchise, were members of the Covenant Empire, often used as powerful frontline foot soldiers. They are incredibly physically imposing, almost like a silverback gorilla that's went through the Spartan program. They often grew to be over 10 feet tall, weighing 1,500 pounds or more. We don't have any exact strength stats, but based on what we see them do to Spartans, we know that they're capable of lifting thousands of pounds with each arm. And in pure strength, I think a brute is at least equal, but most likely more powerful than a fully armored Spartan too. However, brutes also have incredible durability. Large caliber weapons, even at close range, may prove ineffective against an angry brute. In Halo First Strike, John 117 fires an entire clip from an assault rifle into a charging brute, failing to even slow it down. Though, to be fair, armor may have protected it somewhat here. In Halo 3 ODST, a brute survives being stabbed several times in the neck. We learn in Halo New Blood that that brute only died because it fell onto the knife, with its own weight driving it deep into its neck. Jiralhanae are also incredibly fast, capable of matching a Spartan 2's speed, though surely not their acceleration or agility, and have generally shown incredible movement and leaping abilities. They have prominent claws and teeth, which are often used as weapons. Psychologically, brutes are incredibly, brutal and fanatical. On a species level, this nature works against them. Though brutes are fairly intelligent, even managing to achieve spacefaring status, brute civilizations were often destroyed through civil war. Similarly, brutes are known for often devolving into fits of berserker rage mid-battle, where they become single-minded killing machines. And that's the basics. Now onto the Krogan, the large muscular reptiles from the Mass Effect universe. Like brutes, as a species, Krogans are fairly intelligent, but prone to acts of self-destruction, though I don't think they have the same single-minded fury mid-battle as a brute, which I think is a good thing. Krogan are such powerful and skilled warriors that after achieving galactic prominence, they had to be sterilized in order to halt their onslaught and conquering of the galaxy. The greatest aspect of the Krogan, I think, is their durability. As reptilian creatures, Krogan are covered by a thick, extremely protective hide. Remarkably, they also have redundant organs, including a secondary heart and nervous system. What's more, even major wounds can be regenerated in a relatively short period of time. Physically, Krogan are typically around 7 feet tall and often weigh several hundred pounds. Unfortunately, we have less speed and strength feats for the species, but they are undoubtedly stronger and faster than a human of a similar size. Krogan are largely exceptional warriors due to the brutal nature of Krogan worlds and the civilization's warrior culture. Onto the first round. Both species, when fighting in hand-to-hand combat, rely largely on savage aggression, though the Krogan is likely more sophisticated. Generally, it's my opinion that the average brute is much more physically imposing and powerful than the average human, reaching Spartan 2 levels, while a Krogan is closer to a very large peak human. In fact, I think the most powerful Krogan would still struggle against an average brute in pure strength. In my mind, there's nothing in Mass Effect lore which would prove to me that brutes and Krogans have a similar level of strength. As an example, in Mass Effect 1, if you decide to kill Wrex, Shepard is able to knock him down with a smack of his weapon. I don't think the same thing would ever happen to a brute. However, it's clear to me that due to their skin and plating covering their body, Krogans are much more durable than brutes. The question is, will this be enough to counter the size advantage? And I don't think so. It's my opinion that the average average unarmed, unarmored brute is faster, stronger, and more ferocious than the average Krogan. When you add the size advantage, I don't see any way a Krogan could resist. I think the brute gets on top of it and smashes it with pure strength until it dies. Now, the Krogan will most likely withstand some punishment, but without weapons, I don't see any conceivable way that it could hurt the much larger creature. But let's talk about round 2. And I know what you're thinking, there's only like a minute left in this video. How are you going to cover the best warriors of each different species? Well, there's one simple fact. The Krogan Battlemaster is able to use biotics. Biotics are basically psychic abilities which allow a user to manipulate an enemy, holding them in place, throwing them around, much like you'd expect with some simple force abilities. However, there are also more advanced biotic techniques like the creation of gravitational masses and the creation of shields. I don't see any way that even the toughest brute chieftain could counter this ability, and that's saying nothing about the differences in technology between the Halo and Mass Effect universe, which I don't really want to get into. If you guys want to talk about this more, feel free to down in the comments, but I think that in the second round, the Krogan Battlemaster, who by definition is able to use biotics, wins pretty easily. So for the first round, I think the brute, who is just far more physically imposing, as was the case when they fought the Wookiees, wins 10 out of 10. I think a biotic Krogan is able to also win 10 times out of 10 in the second round. My question to you is, imagine the peak of each species without biotic or any sort of psychic powers involved. Mass Effect and Halo fans, who do you think would win? Why don't you vote in the upper right hand corner, and maybe we'll talk about it next Versus episode. Anyway guys, thanks as always for tuning in. This has been your host, EckhartsLadder. Until next time, may the Force be with you.